Dr. Natasha Petrova stared at her neural imaging display, her coffee gone cold beside her keyboard. The patterns made no sense. As head of Moscow State University's Advanced Neuroscience Division, she'd studied thousands of brain scans, but never anything like this. Quantum fluctuations appeared in perfect synchronization across multiple subjects, as if their thoughts were being guided by an invisible conductor. Impossible, she muttered, her Russian accent thickening with frustration. At 45, she'd built her reputation on rigorous methodology and skepticism. These readings threatened everything she thought she knew about free will and human consciousness. Across the world in a secure facility outside London, James Harrison reviewed mission data that kept him awake at night. 20 years in military intelligence had taught him to trust his instincts, and something about recent global events felt wrong. Wars ended too conveniently, peace deals emerged too perfectly, and technological breakthroughs happened just when they were needed most. "Show me the pattern analysis again," he told his AI system. The holographic display filled his office with a web of connections between seemingly unrelated events. Harrison ran his hands through his graying hair, his weathered face reflecting in the glass wall. At 50, he'd seen enough covert operations to recognize invisible hands at work. But these patterns suggested manipulation on a scale that defied imagination. In the void beyond Earth's atmosphere, the Zenith Collective maintained their millennial vigil. Their observation vessel, a construct of living metal and quantum energy, tracked the progress of their most productive harvest world. High Observer Kyrix, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline form, studied the monitoring feeds with growing concern. The human named Petrova approaches dangerous insights, they communicated to the Observer Council. Her neural patterns show resistance to our guidance network. Second Observer Vin shifted their crystalline structure in agitation. The military human Harrison also demonstrates concerning awareness. Their pattern recognition abilities exceed our models. They must not connect, Kyrix decided. Activate deep cover agents. Standard protocols, discredit, isolate, eliminate if necessary. But the Zenith Collective had miscalculated. Their attempts to keep Petrova and Harrison separate created exactly the pattern that Harrison had been trained to recognize. When his AI flagged unusual activity around a Russian neuroscientist, he knew he'd found something significant. The first message arrived in Petrova's secure email at midnight Moscow time. "Your quantum neural patterns match something I've been tracking. We need to talk." Securely. Petrova almost deleted it, but the reference to quantum patterns caught her attention. She told no one about those readings. Her response was cautious. "Interesting, what patterns have you observed?" Within hours, they had established a quantum encrypted channel. Harrison's evidence matched perfectly with Petrova's discoveries. Something was influencing human decision-making at the quantum level, subtle enough to go unnoticed for millennia, but increasingly active in recent years. "We need to meet," Harrison finally suggested. "This isn't something we can fully discuss electronically." "Agreed," Petrova replied, "but they're watching both of us now." "I know I have a plans." The plan involved multiple flights, false identities, and a carefully orchestrated series of misdirections. They finally met in a small cafe in Geneva, neutral ground where neither of their organizations had strong surveillance networks. Petrova recognized Harrison immediately, though they'd never exchanged photos. The military bearing was unmistakable. She sat down across from him, placing her tablet on the table. "Show me what you've found first." Harrison nodded appreciatively at her caution. He turned his own tablet toward her, displaying a complex web of global events. "Humanity is being herded," he explained quietly. "Our choices, our conflicts, our innovations all guided along specific paths." "Like cattle being driven," Petrova agreed, showing him her neural scans. "These quantum patterns appear in every brain I've studied. They're artificial, introduced gradually over generations, some kind of quantum-level control system." "But why?" Harrison asked. "What's the purpose?" Petrova's expression was grim. "I have a theory. These patterns generate unique energy signatures during intense mental activity. Problem-solving, emotional responses, creative thinking, they all produce quantum energy unlike anything we've observed naturally." "We're being farmed," Harrison realized, "not for our resources or our planet. For our minds," Petrova finished, "for the energy our consciousness produces." Their discussion was interrupted by the cafe's windows imploding. Harrison's military training took over. He grabbed Petrova and pulled her under the table as armed figures in black tactical gear burst in. But these weren't normal soldiers. Their movements were too precise, too coordinated. Their eyes, Petrova gasped. The attacker's eyes glowed with an inner light that pulsed in patterns matching the quantum signatures she'd discovered. Harrison drew his sidearm, but Petrova grabbed his arm. No, the kitchen, I saw a back door. They ran as energy weapons scorched the wall behind them. In the alley, Harrison hotwired a delivery van while Petrova used her tablet to jam local communications. They drove in tense silence until they reached the safe house Harrison had prepared. Those weren't human agents, Petrova said as they reviewed security footage from the cafe. Not entirely. They're connected to whatever is controlling the quantum network. Which means we've just confirmed everything, Harrison replied. And they know we know. Petrova's tablet chimed with an encrypted alert. Her laboratory in Moscow had been destroyed in an apparent gas explosion. Harrison checked his own networks. His access to military systems had been revoked, his credibility systematically destroyed through falsified evidence. They're trying to isolate us, Harrison said. Standard intelligence procedure. Discredit the sources, eliminate the evidence. They missed something, Petrova smiled, holding up a small quantum drive. I kept copies of everything, and I have a contact, Dr. Marcus Wung in Singapore. He's been developing quantum computing systems that might help us track these patterns more effectively. I know someone too, Harrison added. Kara O'Reilly, former Special Forces, she's noticed similar patterns in military operations. She has resources we might need. So we're not alone, Petrova said. No, Harrison agreed. And soon humanity won't be either, we just have to prove what's happening. And find a way to stop it, Petrova added, already planning the next steps in her mind. In their observation vessel, the Zenith Collective watched with growing concern. The humans demonstrate unexpected resilience, Kyrix observed. Perhaps we should begin accelerated harvesting. Not yet, Vin cautioned. Premature harvesting could alert others. We must handle these rebels first. But for the first time in 10,000 years of watching Earth, the Zenith Collective felt something new, uncertainty. Humanity was supposed to be their most reliable harvest world. Now it threatened to become their greatest challenge. On Earth, Petrova and Harrison began their work, unaware that their discovery would spark a war for humanity's neural freedom. The silent stars watched, waiting to see if humanity would remain cattle or break free from their invisible chains. Dr. Marcus Wung's quantum computing lab in Singapore hummed with energy as he reviewed the encrypted data Dr. Petrova had sent. At 38, he'd earned a reputation as a maverick in quantum mechanics, someone willing to push boundaries other scientists avoided. But this data pushed beyond even his comfort zone. Run the simulation again, he told his AI system, watching as quantum patterns danced across his holographic display. The patterns matched what he detected in his own research, microscopic anomalies in human brain activity that defied the laws of physics. A soft chime announced a visitor. Wung tensed, his hand moving to the emergency shutdown button. Since Petrova's lab had been destroyed, he'd been expecting unwanted attention. Instead, he found a tall woman with close-cropped red hair standing in his doorway, her athletic frame suggesting military training. Dr. Wung, she said in an Irish accent, I'm Kara O'Reilly, James Harrison sent me. Wung relaxed slightly but kept his hand near the shutdown button. Prove it. O'Reilly smiled, pulling out a quantum key that matched the encryption Petrova had used. At 40, she'd spent 20 years in special forces before going private, and she'd learned to trust her instincts. Something about Wung's nervous energy told her he'd found something important. Show me what you've discovered, she said, closing the door behind her. Wung brought up his latest simulations. The quantum network isn't just monitoring us, it's evolving. Look at these patterns from 10 years ago compared to now. The display showed the network growing more complex, its tendrils reaching deeper into human consciousness. It matches what I've seen in the field, O'Reilly said. Military operations where soldiers made decisions that felt, planted, like someone was pushing us toward specific objectives. Exactly, Wung agreed, but I think I've found something else, a weakness. Before he could elaborate, his lab's security systems went dark. O'Reilly moved instantly, drawing a weapon from her jacket. We've got company. The door burst open as three figures in business suits entered. Their movements were too smooth, too coordinated to be human. Their eyes glowed with that same inner light Harrison had described. Dr. Wang, the lead figure said in a voice that seemed to echo oddly, "Your research has been deemed a security risk. Please come with us." O'Reilly didn't hesitate. She fired a specialized EMP round at the nearest figure. It stumbled, its human appearance flickering to reveal something crystalline underneath. Wang grabbed his quantum drive and a small device he'd been working on. "The service elevator," he shouted, following O'Reilly as she cleared their path. They made it to the parking garage where O'Reilly's motorcycle waited. Behind them, inhuman shrieks echoed as their pursuers recovered. "They're not following," Wang noticed as they sped through Singapore's streets. "That's what worries me," O'Reilly replied. They found out why at her safe house. Every news channel was running the same story: Dr. Marcus Wang, wanted for corporate espionage and data theft. His reputation, like Petrova's and Harrison's, was being systematically destroyed. "They're getting better at this," O'Reilly observed, "faster." "Because they're scared," Wang said, setting up his equipment. "Look at this." He activated the device he'd grabbed from his lab. A small field of quantum energy appeared, and within it their thoughts felt clearer, more their own. "What is it?" "A quantum field disruptor. Small scale, limited range, but it proves we can fight back, we can block their influence." O'Reilly's phone chimed with an encrypted message from Harrison. They had a secure facility off the grid where they could work, but getting there would be challenging. The quantum network's agents were everywhere watching. In their observation vessel, the Zenith Collective was reaching a critical decision. "The humans have developed blocking technology," High Observer Kyrix announced to the Council. "Primitive but effective." "Impossible," Observer Vin protested. "Their quantum science is decades away from such capabilities." "Evidence suggests we have underestimated their adaptive abilities," Third Observer Zen added. "These specific humans demonstrate remarkable resistance to our influence." "Then we must accelerate the harvest," Kyrix decided. "Begin full energy extraction within the month." "The human minds are not prepared," Vin warned. "Many will be damaged." "Better damaged than lost entirely," Kyrix replied. "Alert all deep cover agents. The rebels must not be allowed to spread their blocking technology." On Earth, Wang and O'Reilly made their way to a private airfield where a small plane waited. The pilot, a former colleague of O'Reilly's, asked no questions about their fake papers or the unusual equipment they carried. "They'll track the flight," O'Reilly said as they took off. "Not through this," Wang held up his disruptor. "I've modified it to mask our quantum signatures. As far as their network is concerned, we're ghosts." The real challenge came during their layover in Dubai. O'Reilly spotted the agents immediately, their too perfect movements giving them away. But something was different about them now. They moved with greater urgency, almost aggression. "They're getting desperate," she realized. "Whatever they're planning, it's accelerating." They barely made it to their connection, having to fight through two agents who got too close. O'Reilly's combat training proved effective against their inhuman strength, especially when combined with Wang's disruptor technology. "I've never seen them this bold," O'Reilly said once they were safely in the air again, "operating so openly." Wang was studying readings from the confrontation. "Their quantum signatures are stronger too. They're drawing more power from the network, but why?" They got their answer when they finally reached the hidden facility where Petrova and Harrison waited. The news from their global monitoring was grim. People worldwide were reporting headaches, insomnia, sudden mood changes. The quantum network was becoming more aggressive in its energy harvesting. "It's killing us," Petrova explained, showing them her latest neural scans. "Slowly but certainly, they're taking more than human minds can safely give." "Then we need to move faster," Harrison said. "Dr. Wang, your blocking technology could be the key, but we need to scale it up, dramatically." Wang nodded, already running calculations. "With the right resources, I could create a larger field, maybe even find a way to disrupt their entire network." "Resources we don't have," O'Reilly pointed out, "and won't get through normal channels." "Then we'll use abnormal channels," Harrison decided. "It's time to go public, control the narrative before they can destroy it." "They'll try to stop us," Petrova warned. "They're agents." "Will be expected," O'Reilly finished. "We'll be ready." They worked through the night, preparing their evidence for release. Wang and Petrova combined their research, creating undeniable proof of the quantum network's existence. Harrison and O'Reilly developed security protocols and escape routes. None of them slept. They could feel the pressure building, the network's energy harvesting increasing. Time was running out. Humanity's consciousness was being drained, and most people didn't even realize it was happening. One chance, Wang said as they finalized their plans. We either break their control now, or humanity breaks instead, Petrova finished. Above them, invisible to human eyes, the Zenith Collective's harvest ships moved into position. The time for subtlety was ending. Soon, they would take everything their human cattle had to give, whether those humans survived or not. The resistance was about to face its greatest challenge. But for the first time, they had the tools and knowledge to fight back. The question was, would it be enough, and would they find allies before it was too late? Dr. Olivia Santos hadn't slept in 3 days. The Brazilian quantum physicist had been working nonstop since receiving the encrypted data package from Dr. Wang. In her underground lab beneath Rio de Janeiro's sprawling metropolis, she watched as her quantum resonance scanner confirmed everything the resistance had discovered. Recording test 47, she spoke into her lab system. At 35, she'd earned a reputation for unconventional approaches to quantum mechanics. Now, surrounded by humming equipment and holographic displays, she was about to prove why. Quantum field manipulation successful at neural level, she continued. Human consciousness can be shielded from external influence through targeted resonance fields. She studied the rat in the testing chamber, its brain patterns finally free from the alien network's subtle manipulation. Her computer chimed with an incoming transmission. Harrison's face appeared on her screen, looking haggard. Dr. Santos, we're seeing increased activity in the network. Whatever you're doing, we need it soon. I've done it, she replied, sending him the test results. The quantum resonance shield works, not just blocking their influence but protecting human consciousness entirely. How soon can you scale it up? Before she could answer, her lab's security system screamed to life. They're here, she said calmly, initiating her emergency protocols. But they're too late. The quantum data was already uploading to secure servers worldwide, along with complete blueprints for her resonance shield. As Zenith agents burst through her lab's doors, she triggered the final failsafe. The explosion would destroy her lab, but her work would survive. Across the planet, the resistance network sprang into action. Wang received the data in Singapore, immediately beginning production of the enhanced blocking devices. O'Reilly's global contacts started distributing construction plans through secure channels. Petrova's team worked to integrate the new technology with their existing countermeasures. In their observation vessel, the Zenith Collective faced unprecedented chaos. The Santos humans' technology spreads exponentially, observer Vin reported, their crystalline form pulsing with agitation. Our influence weakens in protected zones. Impossible, Kyrix insisted. Their primitive quantum science cannot. Evidence contradicts assumptions, observer Zen interrupted, displaying global monitoring data. Humans demonstrate extraordinary adaptation when acting independently of our control. Accelerate the harvest, Kyrix ordered. Maximum extraction, take everything before they can resist. On Earth, the effects were immediate and devastating. Millions collapsed as the quantum network began draining neural energy at lethal levels. Hospitals worldwide were overwhelmed. Governments struggled to maintain order as people experienced intense headaches, hallucinations, and cognitive disruption. But in areas where Santos's resonance shields had been constructed, people found clarity. For the first time in generations, human minds were truly free from alien influence. The contrast was stark and undeniable. Harrison coordinated the resistance response from their hidden facility. We need to get shields to population centers first, he told his global team. Save as many minds as we can. The plans are spreading faster than they can stop them, O'Reilly reported. Underground makers are producing shields worldwide. People are finally waking up. Wang's voice crackled over their quantum-encrypted channel. We have confirmation from multiple sites. The shields work exactly as Santos designed, but we're seeing increased aggression from their agents. Because they're desperate, Petrova added, studying neural pattern data. Their control is slipping. Look at these readings, mass awakening events worldwide. The Zenith Collective's human agents fought back brutally. Research facilities were destroyed, scientists disappeared, and anyone found constructing shields faced immediate elimination. But they couldn't stop the spread of information. Santos had survived her lab's destruction and made her way to a resistance safe house in Buenos Aires. There, she worked with local scientists to enhance her design further. The quantum resonance can be amplified, she explained during a secure conference with the resistance leadership. We could theoretically shield entire cities. If we had enough power, Wang cautioned, the energy requirements are enormous. We'll find it, O'Reilly said. People are beginning to believe. Governments can't ignore this much longer. She was right. As more people fell victim to the Zenith Collective's accelerated harvesting, evidence became impossible to suppress. Amateur videos showed agents with glowing eyes attacking shield construction sites. Quantum researchers worldwide confirmed the presence of artificial patterns in human brain activity. The Resistance's message spread through encrypted channels, underground networks, and finally mainstream media. Humanity is being farmed, Petrova announced in a viral video broadcast. Our consciousness, our very thoughts are being harvested by an alien intelligence, but we can fight back. The video included proof, neural scans, quantum data, and most convincingly, footage of people before and after shield protection. The difference in cognitive clarity was undeniable. Public reaction was chaos at first. Panic, denial, conspiracy theories. But as more people experienced the shield's effects, truth became undeniable. Humanity had never truly been free. Phase 1 is complete, Harrison told his team. People know the truth, now comes the hard part. Santos nodded, displaying her latest designs. City-scale resonance shields, if we can build enough of them, coordinate their activation. We could break their control entirely, Wang finished, understanding the implications. They won't let that happen easily, O'Reilly warned. The harvest ships are moving into position. Our satellite monitoring shows dozens of them decloaking in high orbit. Petrova studied the orbital data grimly. They're preparing for something big. The neural drain is already at lethal levels, but these readings suggest. They're going to try to take everything, Harrison concluded. One massive harvest before they lose control completely. Santos's expression was determined as she refined her calculations. Then we need to move faster. The resonance technology can be modified, turned into something more than just a shield. A weapon, O'Reilly asked. A severance tool, Santos corrected. Something that could cut their connection to Earth permanently, but we'd need unprecedented coordination. Simultaneous activation at key points worldwide. A global resistance operation, Harrison mused. Against an enemy most of humanity didn't know existed a month ago. We've done the impossible before, Wang reminded them, holding up one of his original blocking devices. Now we have millions of allies. In orbit, the Zenith Collective's harvest ships moved into final position. Their crystalline forms pulsed with colors that had no human names as they prepared to drain Earth's consciousness dry. 10,000 years of careful cultivation was about to end in one desperate feast. But on the planet below, humanity was finally awakening. In hidden labs, secret workshops, and underground facilities, people worked to build Santos's resonance shields. Each activated device weakened the aliens' control further. Each protected mind added to humanity's strength. The resistance had started with a handful of people. Now it was becoming a global movement. The question was, could they complete Santos's planetary defense system before the Zenith Collective harvested humanity's consciousness into extinction? The final battle for neural freedom was about to begin. The underground facility beneath the Norwegian mountains buzzed with frantic activity. Dr. Raj Patel, the quantum engineering prodigy from Mumbai, worked alongside Santos and Wang, their fingers flying over holographic controls as they refined the severance device's final design. The quantum resonance has to be perfect, Patel insisted, his usual calm cracking under pressure. At 32, he'd already revolutionized quantum field theory. Now he was helping design humanity's last hope. Even a microsecond delay between global activation points could allow the network to adapt. Santos nodded, her hands steady despite her exhaustion. The synchronization modules are ready, look at this. She brought up a global map showing 12 planned activation points. Each location will amplify the others, creating a quantum cascade that should sever their connection permanently. In the facility's tactical center, Harrison and O'Reilly coordinated with resistance cells worldwide. The global movement had grown beyond their wildest expectations. Scientists, soldiers, engineers, and ordinary citizens united against the invisible harvesters. Tokyo team is in position, reported Dr. Yuki Tanaka, her face grim on the command screen. But the harvest ships, they're affecting our people even through the shields. Same in Lagos, came the voice of Commander Adebyo. The neural drain is getting worse, people are dying. O'Reilly studied the tactical display, where red dots showed areas of heaviest harvesting. They're not even trying to hide anymore. Full extraction across all population centers. Because they know we're close, Harrison said. Dr. Patel, what's the status of the severance device? Final calibrations, Patel replied, but we need more power. The quantum field requirements are enormous. We have a solution for that, came a new voice. Dr. Catalina Mendoza, Mexico's leading fusion researcher, appeared on the main screen. My team has modified Santos's resonance technology to tap directly into Earth's electromagnetic field. We can power all 12 devices simultaneously. If it works, Wang cautioned. It has to work, Santos said quietly. We're out of options. Above Earth, the Zenith Collective's harvest ships pulsed with increasing energy as they drained human consciousness at lethal rates. In their command vessel, the Observer Council watched their carefully maintained control crumble. Neural harvesting at maximum capacity, reported Observer Vin. But resistance grows stronger. Their quantum shields spread faster than our agents can destroy them. The humans should never have developed this technology, Kyrex raged, their crystalline form dark with fury. 10,000 years of careful cultivation ruined. New analysis of human cognitive potential, Observer Zen announced. We significantly underestimated their adaptive capabilities. When free from our influence, their quantum science advances exponentially. Deploy the harvesters, Kyrex ordered. All of them, take everything before they can activate their severance weapon. On Earth, the effects were catastrophic. Millions collapsed as the neural drain intensified. Hospitals were overwhelmed. Government and military leaders fell unconscious at their posts. Only those within the Resistance's shield networks remained functional. In the Norwegian facility, Patel and Santos worked desperately to complete the severance device as reports of global casualties poured in. Wang coordinated with tech teams worldwide, preparing the synchronized activation network. We need more time, Patel said, watching neural death tolls rise. We don't have it, Harrison replied. Dr. Mendoza, is the power system ready? Online at all 12 locations, she confirmed. But we're seeing massive interference from the harvest ships. They're trying to overload our generators. O'Reilly's tactical team reported increasing attacks by Zenith agents. The inhuman operatives fought with desperate fury, their glowing eyes now blazing like small suns as they drew directly on the network's power. They're burning out their human hosts, Petrova observed, studying neural scans of captured agents, using them up like batteries. Because they know it's almost over, Harrison said, one way or another. The Resistance's Global Command Center tracked the final preparations. 12 teams at 12 crucial locations, each protecting a severance device. The quantum technology Santos and Patel had developed represented humanity's greatest achievement and possibly its last. Mendoza's power system is genius, Wang said, studying the specifications. Using Earth's own electromagnetic field to power the devices, it's poetic justice. Save the poetry for after we win, O'Reilly replied, but she was smiling. The countdown began. Resistance teams worldwide reported ready status. The severance devices hummed with building power, their quantum fields resonating with Earth's natural energy. In orbit, the Zenith Collective detected the power buildup. They mean to attack the entire network simultaneously, Kyrex realized. Redirect all harvest ship energy to defensive measures. Burn out every human agent if necessary. They must not. The message cut off as the first quantum disruptions hit their communication network. On Earth, the Resistance teams began final activation sequences. Tokyo ready. Lagos standing by. Mexico City in position. Sydney activated. Moscow armed. Cairo online. New York powered up. Rio prepared. London synchronized. Mumbai ready. Singapore positioned. Oslo standing by. In the Norwegian command center, Harrison looked at his team. Santos and Patel at their quantum controls, Wang monitoring the global network, O'Reilly coordinating defense teams, Petrova analyzing neural data. Everything they'd worked for came down to this moment. All teams report quantum synchronization complete, Wang announced. Ready for global activation. Harvest ships moving to intercept, O'Reilly warned. Energy weapons charging. Neural drain at critical levels worldwide, Petrova added. Minutes until catastrophic human casualties. Harrison took a deep breath. Dr. Santos, Dr. Patel, you're certain about this. Once we activate, there's no going back. Santos's hands were steady on her controls. The calculations are perfect. When all 12 devices activate simultaneously, the quantum cascade will sever their network completely. And if we're wrong, O'Reilly asked. Then humanity loses everything, Patel said quietly. But we lose everything anyway if we don't try. Harrison nodded. Send the activation signal. All teams prepare for final countdown. As the quantum devices powered up worldwide, the Zenith Collective's harvest ships descended through Earth's atmosphere, weapons charged. 10,000 years of careful cultivation was about to end in either humanity's liberation or its final harvest. The countdown reached 0. The world held its breath as 12 severance devices activated simultaneously across the globe. In the Norwegian Command Center, Dr. Santos watched the quantum readings spike impossibly high as Earth's electromagnetic field fed power into their creation. Quantum cascade initiating, Dr. Patel announced, his voice steady despite the stakes. All devices synchronized to within 1 microsecond. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The quantum network that had subtly controlled humanity for millennia became visible to the naked eye, a web of ethereal energy surrounding the planet, pulsing with alien power. As the severance devices reached full strength, that web began to tear. In orbit, the Zenith Collective's harvest ships plunged through the atmosphere, their crystalline forms shifting from translucent to blazing crimson. Energy weapons targeted the severance sites, but they encountered an unexpected defense. Mendoza's electromagnetic shield is holding, O'Reilly reported, watching as the aliens' energy weapons dissipated harmlessly against Earth's augmented magnetic field. They can't touch the devices. But the Zenith Collective had one last weapon. Their deep-cover agents worldwide, burning through their human hosts, launched synchronized attacks on all 12 severance sites. In Tokyo, Dr. Tanaka's team fought off crystalline beings that had once been government officials. In Lagos, Commander Adebio's forces held the line against former military leaders now fully controlled by alien consciousness. The quantum cascade is working, Wang reported from his station. Neural readings show human minds breaking free worldwide, but the harvest ships. Above each major city, the massive vessels began their final extraction attempt. People collapsed in the streets as the ships drained neural energy at fatal levels. Even within shielded areas, the pain was nearly unbearable. They're trying to kill us all, Harrison grimaced, fighting to remain conscious. Take everything before we can stop them. No, Santos said, her eyes fixed on her quantum displays. They're afraid. Look at these readings, they're not just harvesting anymore. They're trying to destroy human consciousness entirely. Make sure we can never resist them again. In their command vessel, the Observer Council watched their carefully maintained system collapse. The quantum cascade spreads exponentially, Vin reported, their crystalline form pulsing with panic. Network integrity failing. Impossible, Kyrix raged. They were cattle, carefully bred, perfectly controlled cattle. No, Zen corrected, studying the data. They were something else, something we've never encountered in 10,000 years of harvesting, a species capable of true quantum consciousness evolution. On Earth, the battle reached its climax. The Severance device's quantum cascade tore through the alien network like lightning through a spider's web. Each broken connection freed more human minds, adding their strength to the resistance. In Mumbai, as his team fought off the last alien agents, Dr. Patel made a startling discovery. The cascade isn't just breaking their control, he reported to Norway. It's strengthening human neural patterns. Our quantum consciousness is evolving. Santos saw it too. The network didn't just control us, she realized. It limited us, kept us from reaching our full potential, and now. The harvest ships began to fall. Without the network to maintain their quantum coherence, their crystalline structures destabilized. They crashed into oceans, deserts, and uninhabited areas, their alien forms dissolving into quantum energy that dissipated harmlessly into space. In the Norwegian facility, Harrison watched the tactical display as humanity's victory unfurled. "Status report," he ordered, his voice hoarse. "Tokyo secure," Tanaka reported. "Network severed in our sector." "Lagos clear," Adebio confirmed. "No harvest ship activity remaining." One by one, all 12 sites reported success. The quantum cascade had worked exactly as designed. "Neural readings returning to normal," Petrova announced. "No, wait, better than normal. Human consciousness is operating at quantum levels we've never seen before." "Because we're free," Wang said quietly. "Truly free for the first time in human history." In orbit, the Observer Council faced extinction. Their command vessel's crystalline structure cracked as Earth's quantum cascade reached them. 10,000 years of cultivation, Kyrix raged. Our greatest harvest world. "No," Zen corrected as their form began to dissolve. "Our greatest mistake we should have recognized. They were never meant to be cattle." The command vessel shattered, its quantum energy scattering across the stars. The Zenith Collective's 10,000-year watch over Earth ended not with a harvest, but with the complete liberation of their intended crop. Dawn broke over Norway as the resistance teams worldwide confirmed total victory. The quantum network was gone. The harvest ships were destroyed. The deep cover agents without alien consciousness controlling them collapsed, some dead, others in deep comas as their minds struggled to recover. "It's over," O'Reilly said, looking at the tactical display showing clear skies worldwide. "No," Santos corrected, studying the quantum readings from freed human minds. "It's just beginning. Look at these neural patterns. Without their limitations, human consciousness is already evolving, developing true quantum capabilities." "They kept us in a cage," Patel agreed. "Not just to harvest us, but because they feared what we might become." Harrison looked at his team, the scientists, soldiers, and strategists who had helped free humanity from an enslavement most never knew existed. "So what do we do now?" "We learn," Petrova said. "We explore what human consciousness can really do, and we make sure we're ready if anything like the collective ever comes back." "And we remember," Wang added, "the stars aren't silent anymore, we know what's out there now." Outside the facility, the Norwegian sun rose on the first day of truly free human history. The quantum network that had subtly guided and limited humanity for millennia was gone, its alien masters scattered to the stars. But its destruction had awakened something the Zenith Collective had feared for 10,000 years, humanity's true potential. In hospitals worldwide, people awakened to find their minds clearer, sharper, capable of things they'd never imagined. In laboratories, scientists discovered they could perceive quantum states directly, their freed consciousness operating at levels previously thought impossible. In every nation, humans began to explore their new capabilities, their quantum consciousness no longer bounded by alien limitations. The resistance had formed to free humanity from alien control. They had succeeded beyond their wildest expectations. Now, they would help guide humanity into a new era, one where human consciousness could finally reach its full, unlimited potential. In the vast darkness between stars, Earth glowed with a new kind of energy. Not the artificial network that had enslaved it, but the natural quantum radiance of billions of truly free human minds. The silent stars were silent no more, and humanity was ready to join them not as cattle to be harvested, but as equals to be reckoned with. The war for neural freedom was over. The age of quantum humanity had begun.